Accommodations are usually made when someone has an obvious disability, but what if that disability is invisible? Do they get the same treatment? Hello, welcome to Comcast Newsmakers. I'm Beverly Weaver, and with me now is Wayne Connell, founder and president of the Invisible Disabilities Association. Welcome, Wayne. Thanks for being with us.
Oh, thank you so much.
Yeah, this is something that it seems like there is more awareness growing about invisible disabilities,
Right.
But tell us what an invisible disability really is.
Well, really, it's the invisible nature of illness. It's really the symptoms that people can't see. You may see the obvious symptoms where somebody may be in a wheelchair, or they may use an assistive device, but they may have chronic pain or PTSD or something like that. It's that invisible thing that people don't believe because they can't see it. And so that's what we're trying to do, is help them believe.
Yeah. What do you see as the biggest hurdle in society? Is that we automatically prejudge somebody, that if they look fine and normal, we think they are fine and normal. They don't recognize there may be an underlying issue?
Right. So it's more than just a visual even. It may be the person getting out of a car who has the placard, they have the right to park there, and they walk inside and you think, well, that's only for people who can't walk.
Yeah.
But actually it could be somebody who has memory problems. They don't know where their car is. It could be somebody who has a pacemaker. We don't know what they're going through,
right,
but they have different various reasons. But it's that whole nature of, hey, I saw him today, I saw him here, you know, how come they could come to this event? How come they couldn't go to that event? You know, this whole, we are prejudging in that sense.
Yeah. And in terms of the things that you are really helping people understand, but also encouraging people who may have somebody in their family, they may themselves have an invisible disability, how are you working with those folks?
So what we really try to do, and a lot of this is done through our website and through education, through literature, is to really help people understand that just because they can't see it doesn't mean it's not real.
Yeah.
And then we try to teach them what I call the language of invisible disabilities. So for example, instead of asking somebody all the time that you know is in chronic pain, how are they, you know, hey, are you feeling well today? Maybe a better thing would be to say, are you doing okay today? Because it gives them a little opportunity instead of, oh, well, I'm not feeling well, but I'm doing okay, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Just teaching them that language and helping them understand that it's real even though you can't see it.
Yeah. In terms of, you know, we hear about soldiers coming back, as you mentioned, PSTD. Do you see that we are starting to recognize as a society more of these disabilities, more of these things that are factoring into people's lives?
Yeah, I think as an overall society, we're kind of looking at that. I think individually, though, people really struggle. You know, we think if something happens later in life and maybe they ran marathons all their life, all of a sudden they're just, you know, they're not getting out of bed, those things, we think, well, they're just being lazy. Well, the reality is they weren't lazy before, so why would they be lazy now? Yeah. And so it's really helping people just grasp that issue of believing the person.
What kind of feedback do you get from people with invisible disabilities when they recognize or get some tips on kind of how to deal with chronic pain, deal with their daily world?
I mean, it's really an eye-opener. I mean, I have seen, you know, we actually wrote a little book called But You Look Good. Because people will always say that, well, but you look good. And we had a lady who, her husband read it straight away. They're from New Zealand and brought her tea and biscuits in bed the next morning. You know, we've had husbands on their knees asking their wife for forgiveness. Because it's that nuance, it's that not that people are trying to be mean, because I believe people are trying to really be sensitive.
Yeah.
You know, even with disabled parking they're trying to be very sensitive. But what they're saying comes across very hurtful to the person. They just don't know that. And when you help them, it's kind of a gotcha moment. Oh, I understand that. That makes sense.
Yeah, exactly. Kind of a light bulb goes off. How can people get involved, Wayne, and what can people do to be more cognizant in their daily lives of people with invisible disabilities?
Well, it infects so many people. You know, 50% of Americans have at least one chronic illness. Doesn't mean they're disabled by it, but it impacts how they live their lives. So we need to understand that everybody knows somebody or has somebody that's dealing with it. So to not prejudge people and actually believe people first. And how do you believe somebody? Well, you need to ask them about their illness. How do you ask them about their illness? You got to earn the right to do that and be their friend first.
Right. Where can people go for more information on the association, Wayne?
InvisibleDisabilities.org.
Okay.
It's very easy to find.
All right. Wayne Connell, founder and president of Invisible Disabilities Association. Thanks so much for being with us.
Thank you.
And thanks for watching Comcast Newsmakers. I'm Beverly Weaver.